Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video about something that's been in the news a lot lately, about how the government is claiming that by August 3rd there might not be any more Social Security for the elderly, and they've also been claiming that within the next 5 to 10 years that there won't be any funds left to pay the disabled or veterans either. So I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit. What I don't understand is they claimed at one time that those funds for the disabled, the elderly, and veterans and all that were somehow locked away where no one could get to them. So if that's the case, then how come now all of a sudden they're claiming that, oh, there's not going to be any more Social Security? Disabled people will no longer be able to get government checks, or veterans will no longer be getting paid this and that. If all that's the case, then where the hell did the money go? To me, it seems like the government is basically full of idiots. I mean, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know how to run the government. They don't know how to run the country. They don't know how to run shit. Because they knew what they were doing, then this country wouldn't be basically bleeding out right now. Within the next 5 to 10 years, if things don't change, we're going to be going back to the way things were in the Old West. People are going to be traveling around trying to find any way they can to make money. Because sooner or later, if things don't change and people don't start opening their eyes and realizing that this government is corrupt as hell, if people don't start to realize all that and start to see that things need to change, sooner or later we're going to end up basically the way things were back in the Old West again. People are going to be traveling around hoping that they'll strike it rich with gold or something, because money will have no value. Because the money in this country used to be, at one time, it was all connected to precious metal and all that, but now it's not, so they fucked up, and the value of the dollar in this country is basically almost worthless. If they don't change the way things are going, I don't even want to think about what's going to end up happening if they don't change the way things are going. Because it's basically going to end up being worse than it's ever been in this country. We're going to end up in a situation that none of us, not even our parents, not our grandparents, or anyone who's still alive in this country can remember. And it's all thanks to all these idiots in the government who don't know how to do their job. They're running the country into the ground, trying to line their pockets. And for those of you who can't understand that this country has a corrupt government, why don't you go to Houston, Texas, and talk to the man, the doctor who invented a cure for cancer, but all he got for his trouble, instead of the government patting him on the back, congratulating him, or anything else, you know what he got? He almost got sent to prison on false charges because the government wanted to steal his patent and his invention from him, because that's how greedy this government is. He fought the government in court for over 10 years because the government couldn't understand that they can't steal someone's invention or their patent without, facing the consequences. They repeatedly tried to send him to prison on fake charges, on made up charges, because The FDA is ran by all these big pharmaceutical companies who that doctor would have probably cost billions of dollars with his invention of the cure for cancer. And so the government didn't want that to happen. They didn't want their they didn't want their bank, so to speak, their pharmaceutical bank to have to deal with millions in losses. So they tried to take that doctor to the court instead of congratulating him, instead of allowing the public to find out about it. So instead, he he won all the court cases and everything eventually, and now he has a documentary out talking about what happened to him, how the government tried to screw him over. They basically tried to bend him over and butt rape him. But it didn't work. Apparently he's not the government's bitch. But apparently they didn't know that until it was too late, because they lost the fucking case. And yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about the way things are going and the government being corrupt as hell. And I don't know what I want to, get your ideas on what you expect to happen or what you think is going to happen if things don't change with this country and the way the government is trying to run the country into the ground, basically. Do you see it getting better, or do you think it's going to get worse, or what do you see happening? Post your comments, and if you want, you can post a video response, whatever. But I don't see it getting better. I really don't. Anytime soon, at least with the government we have now, because it's full of complete idiots. All these people in the government now, all they see is dollar signs, and they don't really care if the rest of us are struggling or anything else, as long as they get paid. And that's something else that I wanted to bring up before I forget. Think about this for a minute. If any of us had a job and we weren't doing the job right, we kept fucking everything up, do you think we would keep getting paid, or you think we would be fired? Think about that for a minute. But yet the politicians and everyone in the government, they've been fucking things up for years and years and years now, and yet they still have a job and they still get paid. The way I see it, if they don't learn to do... I can't fucking talk. Alright. If they don't learn to do their job right, and I can actually talk properly, if they don't learn to do it right, the way I see it, they either should have to work for free until they learn how to fix everything that they fucked up in this country. The way I see it, I honestly wouldn't give a fuck if they were all sleeping on the street as long as the rest of us had a roof over our head. Because the way I see it, they're supposed to be working for us. We're not supposed to be working for them. But this country now is backwards. We've basically been having to support the fucking government and the politicians and everyone else, while they just sit on their fucking ass and not do a goddamn thing while this country is being run into the ground. With Bush, Obama, and every other fucking idiot in the government. And I'm not just talking about on the federal level either. I'm talking about on the state level too, because almost every state is in financial trouble. Almost every state in this country is completely broke. The way I see it, every single person in the government in this country, it doesn't matter if they're state level or federal level, every single one of them should have to work for free until they can fix what they fucked up. Until they can get this country back to where it used to be. And they need to fix the fucking dollar in this country. They need to realign it with precious metal and all that. That way the dollar will actually be worth something again. Because right now it's not worth anything. It's pretty sad when the dollar isn't even worth a fucking dollar. And that's why I think the government should have to work for free, because they're just, like everyone else has said before, you don't fucking get out of debt by fucking making more debt for yourself. They're basically trying to bury all of us along with all of our fucking descendants. That's what the government is trying to do right now with this country. And if it's not stopped and fixed now, our kids, our grandkids, and everyone else that comes along after that will be dealing with all the shit that the government is fucking up right now. So they need to fix it. And if they can't, if the people that are in the government right now can't fix it, they should be fired, and people who know how to fix it should be brought in, and it should be fixed. And that's really all there is to it. Because we shouldn't be sitting here thinking about whether or not the elderly, the disabled, or the veterans of this country are going to be homeless because the government are fucking trying to take their money away from them. Because a lot of people, that's their only fucking income. Social Security, all these other government funded programs for disabled and veterans, that's their only income. And if the government takes it away from them, then they're going to end up homeless, and then the government should pay for it. They should be forced to pay for it. Because people who are elderly, disabled, and veterans shouldn't be put out on the street just because we have a fucking greedy government. That's the way I see it.